Hi, welcome to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and in this show we'll highlight opportunities and solutions to help get you out of the rough and into success both financially and personally. In these tough economic times, I want to bring you practical solutions to many of today's challenges. Today I have Michael Crane. Michael Crane is the president and co-founder of Smart Business Evolution and been on the show many times.
Yes, I appreciate being back.
Welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about how to build customer-centered service culture, customer service-centered culture.
Right.
That's a mouthful in itself.
It is, but it's important. No matter how hard it is to say, it's very important. Absolutely.
Now we're talking about how we talked earlier about smart solution.
Right.
Tell us about the smart solution that you really you coach and you instruct so much on.
Well, we talk about SMART, how to be smart with your customer service to make it easy for employees to understand. But S stands for sincere greeting. That's where we start off. So many times you walk into a place of business and they may be good people doing good work with good intent, but you don't often get a sincere greeting. I mean, if you think about it, how many times do you walk in and go, wow, they really greeted me like I was somebody special or somebody important? So we overemphasize the point that you got to make sure that you're very sincere with your greeting. We have to be able to recognize our customers and say, I see that you've arrived and I'm happy that you're here. We're eager, able, and happy to help because we find you important.
Yeah, first impression that you care. And if it's on the phone, it's tonality,
right? Because
they can't see what you're looking, what you look like, or if you're slouched or not, and if you're present. And in person, it starts with the way you're dressed, how you're groomed. Are you enthusiastic?
True.
Are you excited to be there?
Absolutely. And you know what I think, Fred, is I think a lot of people don't quite understand how important that sincere greeting is. A lot of times we equate it to being polite, or it's the thing that we do in order to start the transaction, but it's so much more than that. And, without going too deep, if you think about Abraham Maslow and his hierarchy of human needs, he put a hierarchy of human needs, and at the base he says, we seek as humans to find the physiological, the things that we have to survive. But then after that, we move up one and we go into safety and security. We want to know that we're in an environment that's free from harm. But watch the next two, fundamental needs within us humans, and that is the need that we're accepted, and the next one is self-esteem. And so when we give a sincere greeting, it's doing so much more than starting the transaction or being polite. It's fundamentally supplying a basic human need.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good about you when you walk into that business. Sincere greeting, first impression, but marvelous tone. The M on SMART, the M starts for marvelous tone.
Right. One of the hiccups in a lot of companies is they teach their people scripts. And I understand sometimes that may be a necessity. But man, you can cut yourself short on really what you're trying to achieve. I mean, yes, you may be able to teach your employees the right thing to say, but it doesn't create the right feeling because the tone wasn't there. If you take two words, like, I'd give you an example. I could go home to my wife, Terry, and I could go home and say, I love you. I could look at her and say, I love you. Now let me tell you, Fred, those same three words will have a different impact just based on the words the tone that I used. And if you take everything that you're currently saying to a customer right now and you just put a little more attention to your tone of voice, you'll be surprised what it does to the relationship.
Yeah, and how does it make you feel?
Oh, great.
Yeah, it makes you feel good. It's the way you address your customers, the way you address your spouse, the way you address, everyone you know. And I'll touch upon one last thing, and that's on a phone call.
Oh, yes. Well, that's next.
Are you interrupting them? Which is?
Answer with care. When we pick up that telephone, we got to use the first two principles, sincere greeting and marvelous tone. But what's funny is that sometimes we treat people differently on the telephone than we would if they were in person. It's kind of funny. We pick up the phone and say, hey, thank you for calling the ABC company. Can you hold, please? Well, you would never do that in person, so we shouldn't do it on the telephone. And even if we're busy and we're going to have to put that caller on hold, we can still answer with care. Let me give you an example. I could pick it up and go, thank you for calling ABC company. My name is Mike. Can you hold, please? Or I could answer like this. Thank you for calling ABC company. My name is Mike. I'm going to be happy to help you in just a moment. May I place you on a quick hold? Now, that may have taken me, 2 more seconds? But what was the difference in impression?
You asked for permission.
Right, absolutely. And think about the difference in impression. If I pick it up and I answer it in a rushed format, what's it tell the caller? I'm too what?
Too busy for them.
Right.
And a lot of times it's, oh, can you transfer me to Joe real quick? Boom, boom, you're gone.
Done.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I like that. So smart, sincere greeting, marvelous tone, and answer with care.
Right.
R.
R
is one of those things in my business, the mortgage industry, we have nothing but challenges, problems. but challenges in our business. It's ever changing, right?
Right.
Let's talk about run to problems.
Right. R is run to problems. And you know the reason why we want to run to problems is our competition won't. You know, if you Google, for example, Fred, if you Google the mission statements of, let's say, convenience stores, they all basically say the same thing. Here's what they say. They're friendly, they're fast, and they're clean. Well, how many times do you walk into a convenience store and it's not all that friendly? It may be fast, but it's definitely not clean. Right. Well, what's the problem there? Well, they haven't taught their employees to run at the problem. If there's anything that's breaking us down from living our mission, we need to be able to run to it. And so we need to teach our people to run at it, because a person or a business that runs a problem is a person or a business that will earn customer advocacy. And I'd like to share with you a story, because I struggled with this. You know, if you're going to run at problems, you got to have the right attitude. You got to have the emotional stamina. And I know for myself, I struggled with this for several years. As a young entrepreneur with a small staff, when I hit a problem, I would just kind of go bonkers, right? And that wasn't a good demonstration for my people, because guess what they did when they encountered a problem with the customer?
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing as boss does, right? That didn't help us out. But I'll tell you about a chance encounter. I went to El Paso. And I go to El Paso, and I'm helping put two companies together. By day 3, I'm ready to come home. I get to the airport. I go to the gate. My plane leaves at 3:30. I'm at the gate at 3 o'clock. There's a bunch of people. It's a full flight. You can tell. But we look out the window, and guess what we don't see, Fred?
No plane.
No plane, right?
So, I know the feeling.
So, you know, 3:10, 3:15, 3:20, 3:25, guess what we're still looking at? No plane, right? 3:30, no plane. 3:31, they finally came on and announced, hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, your flight's been delayed. We don't have an ETA yet, but as soon as we know, we'll let you know. Thank you for your patience. Well, what did everybody do right then, Fred?
They got upset. They got frustrated.
Right.
Yeah, there's now a problem.
Oh, big problem. And everybody's kind of, you know, screaming and yelling and raising their fist. And what's funny is I kind of sat back and I was taking all that in. And I go, that's normally me. I'm normally one of those people. And you can get all twisted. But the question, Fred, where are you going to end up after that?
Yeah.
You're still
frustrated.
in. Yeah, and you're still in El Paso.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm taking all that in, and about 15 minutes goes by, and there's a gentleman who's on our flight. He's sitting down over on the side, and he gets up, and he catches my attention. He's from India. He's got a suit that's too big. He's a small stature, but he walks like John Wayne. So he's just unique. So he catches my attention, and he walks by me, and he walks up to the counter. He says, do we know anything about the plane yet? And the lady says, well, yes, we just found out it's got to go from L.A. to Phoenix, and Phoenix to El Paso, and it hasn't even left L.A. Now, upon hearing that, I became frustrated, but I thought my frustration is going to be lived vicariously through this gentleman, because surely he's going to get upset with her.
Right.
Right? And he turns to her and says, okay, I'll go sit down now. I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah.
So he turns back and we start to talk for a little bit. He asks me what I do, and we eventually go and sit and have a burger next door while we're waiting. And come to find out, he's a brain surgeon. And so I asked him, I said, knowing what you know about the brain, what's going on in there, let me ask you a question, doctor. I said, what do you do when you encounter a problem? And he said, problems are nothing more than an unsolicited process. I thought, interesting. You could watch him in action as he took that news and he realized, okay, this isn't what I wanted. This is a new process introduced to my life. It's just an unsolicited process. I now have to work it. He said it doesn't make much sense for me to attach a bunch of negative emotion to it, because it's not going to change it.
There's
just
nothing you could do about it. Yeah. What a great, great story.
Yeah.
SMART. We talked about S-M-A-R-T. We got about a minute left.
You're right.
Thank with emotion?
That's an easy one. It's think with emotion, T-H-A-N-K. When we thank our customers, we want to make sure that we put a little bit of emotion behind our thank yous. Too often, businesses are too routine in their expressions of appreciation. And what we want to do is making sure that we fuel our staff with the understanding. When you thank a customer, thank them with emotion. Put a little bit of emotion behind it and let them know you really do appreciate it. And here's what we want to let our customers know. We know you had a choice and you chose us.
Yep.
We're grateful.
Yep, we're grateful. And I'm grateful that you came in today to share these ideas, and always a wealth of information. Michael Crane, thank you very much. Founder of Smart Business Evolution.
Thank you.
We're going to jump to a quick break, but when we come back, we got Diana Meyer, President of Meyer Marketing Intelligence, and we're going to talk about transforming customers into lifelong customers.